window ledge outside the shop where meat could be displayed. On the right is Parliament Street, one of York's many foot streets. Parliament Street is a great place to go shopping, with a market selling all kinds of goods. You may also encounter some of York's street buskers. You'll find them doing all kinds of acts, keeping the centre of York alive with sounds of music and entertainment. Looking ahead is the Church of All Saints pavement, which has a beautiful lantern tower instead of a spire. In medieval times, a fire used to be lit in the top of the tower in order to guide travellers safely back to the city. There was no street lighting then, and so York was not as easy to find after dark as it is today. Also, York was surrounded by a great forest, the Forest of Gul Trees. It was dangerous to be lost there at night, as it is recorded that there were wild animals and robbers in the forest. We move into Coppergate. It doesn't get its name from the metal copper as you might think, but from cupra, the Norse word for cup maker. It was when the new Coppergate shopping precinct was being built in the late 1970s and early 1980s that over 40,000 finds from a Viking settlement were unearthed, beautifully preserved by the silt and mud around here. What was found here is so important that it even changed the way we teach about Vikings in the National School curriculum. Today you can see what was found in the York Viking Centre, where you can travel back in time over 1,000 years in York's history to experience the sights, the sounds and even the smells of Viking York. You can visit the Viking Centre from our next stop, but please remain seated until we arrive at the Clifford's Tower stop. As we move into a relatively modern street, Clifford Street, on the right, the York Dungeon is housed in the grand old Victorian Institute of Learning. It tells the grisly side of York's history, recalling tales of torture and misery, and stories of characters such as Dick Turpin and Guy Fawkes. We are now moving into Tower Street and the site of the castle. This is your stop for the Castle Museum, Clifford's Tower, York Boat River Cruises, the Jorvik Viking Centre, York Dungeon, Fairfax House and St George's Field Coach and Car Park. Clifford's Tower is on our left. It was part of the castle complex that was built in 1245, but it is not the first castle to stand here. Originally there were two castles, one either side of the river. They were built by William the Conqueror's men in 1068 and made of wood. William didn't have it all his own way in the north, and a year later the locals burnt down the castle in a rebellion. William was furious and sent his troops to quell the rebellion. He did this in a brutal fashion, an event which is now referred to as the Harrying of the North, where he burnt everything between York and the Newcastle area. Buildings, animals and crops were all destroyed, but he didn't stop there. It is believed he got his troops to salt the soil, one of the most shameful episodes in York's history. It has become known as the Massacre of the Jews. In 1190, anti-Jewish feeling was running high in Western Europe due to the Crusades. The Jews had also become the main